Cosmic forecast for April 2017 by the Fusion 7 Healing Mystery School. Welcome along, and here we go for what it is that's actually going on this month up in the heavens above and down on the earth below. So there's an increase in universal activity during this time, which is creating a decrease in certain areas within which we want to advance on this planet. So it's as though we're trying to go forward, but there's stuff happening above that's actually preventing us from doing so. So this is only happening though for certain specific reasons. And these reasons are called what is known as retrograde. And this only happens when we are invested in retrograde. So with retrograde, it's actually a perspective that is invented by humans on planet Earth. So it isn't actually that's really happening per se, but it's more really something that's happening that we believe in. We are invested in it. So if you are affected by delay, by stagnation, by disruption and obstruction, the chances are that you are invested in what is known as retrograde. So, of course, there are many other reasons why things like that do happen with us, yeah? So we don't need all the planetary influences to add to the mix. So if you are invested and you are willing to uninvest, then it really will help you to be able to progress without having these influences. And yes, it is possible to release ourselves from those influences, just like you can assist yourself to prevent certain influences of certain people that are creating maybe some darkness for you or some negativity for you. Just in the same way, you can actually release yourself from negative planetary influences. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to release yourself from the positive stuff. So, as with everything, keep the positive and release all that is negative. And this also applies to the planetary stuff. Now, the reason why I'm not actually talking about specific planetary bodies or spheres is because they're so busy up there, influencing us in all these different kind of weird and intense ways, that I'm not even going to bother to go into the specifics of what each one is projecting, let's say. I feel that it's more important perhaps to just deal with the investment, the negative investment, and release ourselves from that. So it is suggested therefore that we heal these negative influences, reveal them and heal them, whilst we leave the positive ones intact. And so whilst you're doing this, you need to come into a more sort of like perhaps introspective or more of a meditative kind of state. Sort of got my tongue twisted there. And by doing that, what you're doing is surrendering like a lot of the outward action perhaps during this time, if you are invested, that is. And by surrendering the outward action or a big chunk of it, it will then put you in a position where you won't be, for example, suffering as much. It's going to reduce the challenge. Hey, Miss Jennifer Bliss, how you going, darling? So yeah, it is suggested that you do ponder on it and you do some healing on it. Okay. So of course there are situations, guys, that are larger than what we can do, that are larger than our conscious selection. And no, this isn't about ego. It's not about trying to prove that you are stronger or bigger than what it is that's going on out there. No, thanks for the hearts, by the way. Really do appreciate that. It's not about that at all. It's just about being able to come into a better state of awareness of what it is that is actually going on. And of course, as you do expand your awareness on these situations, it then, as a result, means that, again, you're affecting how much impact is on you with what it is that's going on around you, whether it's planetary or whether it's earthly. So very, very important to get your chops around that, yeah? So surrender. Surrender is key. Release the struggle, release the push, and release trying too hard. That's what it is that you want to do. Spend time to reflect inwardly. We've already said that. It is a time to ride the current as opposed to trying to steer through the tides, okay? So steering through the tides whilst you are invested in thinking or believing that there is something that is bigger, stronger, larger than you out there, then you're going to have an issue with that. It's going to create problems for you. So take responsibility, guys, for your healing process and honour the present state that you currently find yourself in. So all of this said and done, you will find yourself picking up the pace and falling into your groove as we move past the first half of this month. Okay, so a little bit of patience, it definitely is a virtue. Now, for those of you that are already past the negative cosmic influences, you're going to find yourself at the other end of the scale, which is that the floodgates are actually wide open. So this means that events are unfolding at a breakneck speed, and it's therefore your responsibility to modify the frequency and the intensity of this unfolding. So, you know, you've got to slow things down a touch and not just let things get out of control, even though there's so much going on in your lives. So if this is you, definitely caution is warranted. Do not allow the flames of your passion to burn too long or too strong that they burn you out. So as with everything, guys, moderation definitely is key. Okay, so this is our forecast for the month of April, and I'm going to go out, come back in with another channeling situation, which is to do with the Pleiades and starseed connections. So this was a real life reading and a real life healing that actually happened. So if you want to tune in for that, then please do so shortly. Don't forget to follow, don't forget to share, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Helen Christodoulou. So I will see you in just a tick from now. Thanks very much. Stay tuned. Ciao.